Okay, hello everyone. So in this video we are going to be creating a URL shortener with Django. So this is a very good beginner friendly tutorial for people who are interested. So if you're interested in learning Django, this is a very good tutorial for you to start with. So I have an empty folder here called URL shortener. So I'm just going to open VS Code with this folder right here. So I'm going to be using VS Code as my editor for this program. So the first thing you want to do now is to have your virtual environment, right? So we just go ahead now and create a virtual environment. So I'm opening the terminal in my VS Code terminal right here. So what I want to do right here is just go ahead and say pip install virtual env. So go ahead and say pip install. This is a package in Python that you can use to generate virtual environment. So virtual env. So right here, just saying pip install virtual env. So on your system or your laptop, you should be seeing the installation process right there. Okay, you can see I have this installed already, and because of that, he's telling me that required already satisfied, right? So next thing you want to do now is to generate a virtual environment right here. So I'm just going to say virtual env now, and I want to generate my virtual environment called Ven. So why are we generating a virtual environment? This is just so that we can install the package particular to this project itself. So you don't have to install it generally everywhere we are using Python. So now I want to go ahead and activate this virtual environment. So I'm just going to go ahead and say straight, then I'm going to say activate, right? So now I have this activated, and you can see the virtual environment right here, right? So okay, I have this activated now. What I want to do right here now is to install Django. So I'm just going to go ahead and say pip install Django, which is the framework we are going to be using for the development today. So we'll wait for the installation process. So now we are installing Django. Now we're collecting the packages, right? So installing collected packages, and all our packages were installed along with Django. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and open another terminal, another instance of the terminal right here. Okay, so I can go ahead here again and activate. Sorry. So let's just activate our share right here, and let's check. So now if you want to start a Django project, what we do is Django admin, start project, followed by the name of the project. So I'm going to go with URL shortener right here. And okay, I'm going to go with a dot right here. This because I don't want another folder to be created. Okay, I'll just show you the reason why I'm adding this full stop at the end here. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove this full stop first, and just go ahead with this. Okay, so I cannot have dash, or I'll use an underscore instead right here. So here now I'm having a URL shortener, and inside this URL shortener I'm having another URL shortener, and I don't want this. I want to use this as a parent directory. So I'll just go ahead and delete this and start again afresh. So just go ahead again, then add my full stop right there. So now I add my full stop, I can see now this URL shortener is just like outside right here. So you can see manage.py here. So this is a Python file that I'm going to be using currently right from now. So just go ahead and say Python manage.py. So now I want to create an app. In every project you have an app, just like Instagram. Now you have different apps, right? You have your feed, your own field. You have an app for messaging, a separate app for messaging, and stuff like that. So Python manage.py, now I want to start app, and I'll call this app URL. Okay, let me just call it short URL. So this is the name of the app I'm starting right now, and this app now is just going to be like our main app that we're going to be using for this URL shortener for this project. So this is the app now. And the first thing we want to do with this app now is to create our models, right? So we are going to have a function here. So we are going to have a function right here, and this function is just going to be called, okay, get short URL. But no, let's just start with the model itself. So I'm going to have a class here called short URL, and we are going to, this class is going to store the original URL and the short version of this URL, which we are going to give to it when we are modifying this URL itself as a whole. So we are going to have original URL right here. So original URL. So I'm just going to go ahead and set this to, okay, use models dot shall feed. So if I go ahead and use model dot shall feed right here, and I want the math length to just be 200, I'll just leave it as 200. Okay, I leave the math length as 200. Now, okay, instead of short URL, I'll just gonna go with a slug, right? So let me just have a slug right here, and I'm going to just say models dot shall feed. Now I just want to have like max length of 15, and I want it to be unique, right? So when you say unique true, which means no two instances of this model can have, okay, just for understanding sake, let's have it as short URL instead. So no two model can have like the same short URL. So I'm going to have this def string right here, and what we just want to return is the original URL. Just let us just return the original URL instead. So we are good to go with that. So from this URL now, what we want to work next with is the views, right? We want to go with the views, and we just want to have, so let's just create a request first. I'll just say URL short, okay, URL short, and just have a function called URL short right here, and it's going to take in this parameter called requests. So, and when we request this URL, so let's just return a response for now. So let me have response 2. So I'm just going to go from Django dot URLs import response. Okay. Okay, I'll just go ahead and comment this for now. So we want to render a page when we use this URL, and this page now is going to be, we are going to have some template, right? So I'll just go ahead and add a folder in this my app right here, and I'm going to call it templates. And now in this folder I can add, okay, I can have the name of this app right here, which is going to be called short URL. Then here now I can have my file. So I'm just going to call this, okay, URL short.html. So I have this as URL short.html. So that's quite all right, and that's what we are rendering right here. So how can we see this when we run our application? First of all, we need to add a file to this app itself, and this is going to be url.py. And now we have a URL file right here. So what we need to do here is to configure this part here, and we also import include. And what we want to do right here is to say path. So whenever we are going to a path with an empty string, we want to include all the URLs in the short URL app. So I'll just go ahead and copy this as an extract right here and paste it in this short URL. So let me just zoom into this a bit more. Okay, I think this is okay. So I'll just get rid of this. We don't need this, and we don't need include, we don't need admin. So we are not using include right here. what we are using is just this pure path and the view we are redirecting this to, and we can have the name also. So we're having pure path here, and we want to import from views now. So I'll just go ahead and say from dot, we want to import views. Come here and say views dot URL short, then short URL. So we now can render this page. So to test this and see if it's working quite all right, so let's just go ahead and say okay. First of all, let me come to this template right here and say I just have an h1 tag called hello world, right? So we have this hello world, okay, h1 hello world. So we have this h1 tag called hello world. So can come back here now to my terminal and say python manage.py run server. So what's going to, oh, okay. Now if I go to this URL right here, template short URL does not exist. And why am I saying this? URL short does not exist. Short URL short does not exist. So I'll just go back to my views right here. See, short URL short.html does not exist. Templates. Okay. Okay, let me bring this out here first to this template, and let me reload this. So I'm really not sure of what's going on right here. Okay, so at times that you run into program like this, so you can just go ahead and search, okay, template files, Django, okay, I just say Django template files. Okay, go here, templates Django now. You can just okay, this is not going to give me the answer I want. So I just go right there now and can say okay. I have templates right here, and okay, I have it just set quite all right here. So let me just move this back here for now and try removing this from the URL, from the views. Oh yeah, okay, let's try this again now. Still does not exist. URL short does not exist. Okay, oh yes, there is a problem right here. When we install an app, we have to go to the setting.py and make sure that this app is added to this installed app here. So you can just comment here and say installed. Okay, just comment here and say installed app, and we have short URLs and app here, right? So this should work quite all right now. Yes, hello world. So I can just return this back to the way it was before, back into this folder, and go back to my views right here, and okay, I have my short URL. So I can go back to this now and reload this. Okay, so let me just run this time, run the code again. Okay, I think this slash was wrong. Okay, so we are working quite all right now. So yes, we have it like this. So this is what we're meant to have here. So now that is working quite all right. So how do we get this? And before we go further right here, so let's just go ahead and design our HTML page itself. So I'll just go ahead and say right here, I want to have doc type, okay? Doc type HTML. Okay, I want to have this HTML. So I want to end this end, then I want to have a body. Okay. So I'm ending this body here too also. So I'll come back to the styling. So let's just have the border for now. So now we want to have like, okay, we want to have container. So just want to, okay, using a Django template here. Let me just change this to HTML. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and say container. Okay, div dot container. I think this is the right way. Okay, so we have a div class now of container. Okay, we have this URL as an head button, and we have this form now as an action, but this form is not going to have any action for now. But yes, we are sending a post request using this form, and we are going to have an input right here with a text that we are going to give, okay, with a type text instead. Then we want to give this name a URL name is okay. Enter the URL, and this field is actually going to be required, and I would like to give it an ID right here. An ID of original URL. Okay, original URL is quite all right and okay for me. So we can go with original URL right here. So original URL work well, and so we have the button right here that is going to submit this type of submit, and we don't need any value for this button for now. So just go ahead and erase that. Okay, and I'll get rid of this. Yeah, so that's going to be the end of the form right there, and now we are going to have another div for the result. So I'm just going to go ahead and say div dot result. So we have this result right here, and I want to have just like, okay, I want to have an input tag right here, and I want it to be a type, yeah, of text. So if this input tag is a type of text right here, I want the ID to be equals to shorten URL. So call it shorten URL, and we want it to be read only. Okay, but it should have a value, and this value we are going to set it later, because we'll be getting the value from the Django itself. Okay, now we want to have a button right here, which is just going to copy to clipboard, but we're just going to give it a function right here because we want to create this, we want to copy this thing using the JavaScript. Okay, right here, I'll just give it an ID called copy button. Copy btn. Okay, so that's quite all right. So after these two divs, now let's create it. Jeff, okay, let's actually check the result of this code right here. So now we're having this URL short, now we're having this button that submits, and we're having a copy button. So what do we do now? Let's have a JavaScript right here that is going to copy this, that is going to help us to copy this, copy the shortened URL version there. So I'm just going to say documents dot get elements by ID. So now I'm getting the elements by ID here, copy ID. Oh, it's called copy button, right? I named the button copy button. So I want to add an event HTML Yeah, so whenever this button is clicked, what do I want to do? So I want to have a copy text right here. So I can just set this to a constant instead. So constant copy text right here is going to be getting the element by ID that we have in this shortened URL version. Then we want to copy this text, right? So I'm just going to say copy text dot select. Then we want to execute the command copy. We want to create an alert that this button has been, this URL has been copied. So I'll just go ahead and say alert URL has been copied. So here, if I say, if I reload this now and I copy now, I can see URL copy to clipboard. Quite all right. So I should try and paste it here. Okay, there was actually nothing there. That's why it was not copy. But let's say I give it an initial value right here. Okay, let's say we just have a value right here, and I set this to a copy me, and I go back here right here. Now I reload this again. A copy me, copy this, copy to clipboard. Let's paste this here. Now we have a copy me. So that's what quite all right, right? So we have that there. So before we come back and style this page, or we just go there, let's just go and have the following the functions that will help us to do this well. So we'll go back to our views.py right here, and just going to lower this but for now. So what we want to check for is to check when a post request is being sent, right? So I want to go ahead and say request. If request.method right here now is equals to this post request dot method. So just go ahead and say if request.method is equals to post. So if request.method is equals to post, I want to do something, right? And what do I want to do right here? I want to get the URL that was there, and I want to shorten this URL and give the user the shortened version of this URL. So I'm just going to go and get the original URL now. The URL now is also request.post. I don't need the shortened URL for now. So let me just go ahead and erase this. Okay, let me just get the original URL and let's print this out for now. Original URL. So I'll just have this way. So if I should go ahead now, our code is still running. So I just type in log into success here. I submit. Okay, forbidden. And one thing about there is never to forget to add your CSRF token. So I'm just going to go back to this page. So just get rid of some of this. So whenever we have a form in Django, we have to have a CSRF token, and this is just to ensure security in our post request CSRF token. Okay, that's quite all right. So I'll just run this again and add this here, submit original URL. Okay, and just go back to the view right here, dot post dot get first. Okay, let's have it this way. Okay, so now if you check the terminal right here, original URL was printed none. I'm sure this will be a problem due to the name given to it. The name given to it was URL, so I have to change this to original URL right here. So looking at the name I have in my views right here, I'm trying to get original URL, so I'll just put it this way. So original URL like this. So I'll just go ahead and run this again. Just reload this page, put in something right there. Now I'm getting this original URL right here, right? So that is working quite all right. So now when I get the original URL, what I want to go ahead and do now is to have my shortened URL now. So I'm going to create a variable here now called my shortened URL, and I want to do something with this variable. So I'll just go ahead and import some Python modules right here, some Python package right here. Say okay, what I want to import from here is string. So from Python, I will import a module called string. And what I want to do with this string, you'll see quite in a minute. So I want to join this now, random dot choice string. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, this AI read my mind. It's not what I was going to do, but okay. I'm to import random too. So we'll just go ahead and import random right here. So now we are generating a random string, right? So I can just go ahead, okay. Just the same way we are printing out shorten URL right here. Let me print out original URL too. So we're generating a string right here, a random string, shorten version, and we want to map this shorten URL to this original URL. So whenever we are given this shorten URL, Django will just go behind the scene and load this original URL and use it. So let's have this. Okay. Yes, now so we have a shortened version of this URL right here, and we have this email right here. So the next thing I want to do now is to set, okay, to create a URL here, because okay, I have a model right here now. If I should go back to my models.py, I have a model right here that contains a URL, a original URL, and a shortened URL, right? So I want to create an instance of this short URL. So I'll just go back right here and say what I want to do now is, okay, from models first, I'm to import this. So I'll just go ahead and say from .models, I want to import short URL. So I'm just going to create an instance of this short URL right here. I'm just going to say data now is equals to what? Short URL set to this short URL and original equals to set to this original URL. I'm going to have data.save. So I want to save this URL now. Okay, I'm saving this URL now into the model itself as an instance right there. Okay, so I'm saving this into the model as an instance there, and I'm going to be returning a context. Okay, so this is okay and quite all right. So here now I'll now have a context right here. Then this context is going to be original URL and short URL, and it's just going to come like this. We're going to return this same page with the original URL and the short URL version. And now going back to this URL shortener here, I just want to have something if this context is present. So we just want to have this short URL and this. Okay, let's get rid of this. So what I want to do is that if this, okay, if this context right here is present, right, you can see in the initial return right here it is not present, but if this context right here is present, I want to fill this, both this field with the right value. So I'll just go to this URL model right here, and then what I can do is use some Django templates file here. So I'll say if context. No. So what I'll just say is if original URL, because this context itself is a dictionary, right? If original URL. So just come here and say and if. And if, and we should have an else right here. Okay, else and else should just be something normal, not fancy. Okay, that's quite all right. Then we want to have a value right here. So if original URL, we just want to have a value, and we're using Django templates variable here. Django template right here. And you just want to have original URL right here, and same thing for the shorten URL right here. We just come here and say if shorten URL want to do this, and okay, we should have an else right here, and that else here now we want to have this. So I just cut this, paste it here. Okay, allow. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, so let's test this out and see how this work. So I'll just go ahead and run this again. Okay, not meant to be seeing a copy me again, so I don't want this value to be present by default. So I'll just go back here and run this again. So let's say I paste this here. Let's first see what short URL. Okay, so where is this error coming from? So whenever we create a model in Python, in Django, right, we need to migrate and make migration with this model so that it can be stored in the database, right? So by default, Django is using my SQLDB database, right? If you try to open it, you won't be able to open it, but because I have an extension installed, that allows me to be able to view it. So right here, we just want to go ahead and say Python manage.py. Okay, first we'll make migration. Okay, allow. So now we can see create model short URL. So just go again and say Python manage.py migrate. Okay, so now we have all our migration done and everything is quite alright and very ready to go. So now we just go ahead and run this again. Okay, I need to run my server first. So Python manage.py run server. So right here, submit right here. Okay. So you're not seeing the shorten URL. So let's just look at the code and see what's going on. So we have the shorten URL right here. We are returning the context right here. So let's see right. Okay. It's shorten URL like this in this format. So you can just go again and submit this. Now we can see this is a shortened version of this our URL, right? We've shortened this URL to this, but now we are not going to have it like this, because if you try to just enter this into this place, it won't work, right? So this is not what we want. So what we want to do right here is to have another page right here, and I'm going to call this def get URL, right? Get URL. So this page is going to be called get URL, or just call it URL redirect, something like that. Okay, get URL, and I'm going to have request and short URL version right here. So now what we are doing with this short URL version here is that we are okay, we are getting the URL object from here that is similar to this short URL. Then when we get this data right here, I'll just say okay, let's say we are getting the data right here. Then we are looking into this models.py again, we are getting the instance of this short URL from it that has this short URL equals to each other. Then when we get that, what we want to do is just redirect this. So we just want to redirect the user to the long URL format there. So I'll just go ahead and import redirect right here. So don't shortcut, you can also import a function called redirect. So right here we just have redirect. I want to redirect the user to the original URL itself. But okay, so in the URL.py right here, we are going to have another part right here, and this part is just going to be something like okay, short URL right here, and we want to have a string right here, or let me just say we have u right here, I just want to have the string. Okay, hold on. I want to have an argument here because we are expecting an argument from this view itself. And okay, no. This is not meant to be here. So just cut it here. We don't want it in this URL here. We want it in URL in our app. So we just go to the URL in our app right here, and here our short URL, get URL. So I just have you as an initial to this front right here. Okay, just as a short URL. So this is what we can do now. So if I copy this right away, and now, okay, let me see, I'm going to my local host right here. I'm saying I'm having this. So now you can see that it's redirecting me to the URL itself, right? So you can see we have this our short URL itself right here. So it's redirecting me to the URL itself. But you want to copy something that is full, right? Something that is ready to go. So you don't have to be appending this yourself. So to fix that now, we just go back to our views right here. And where we are returning the shorten URL right here, we just want to like concatenate this. I'll just go ahead and say a string right here. So just concatenate this using a string. And what I just want to do right here is to just give it the URL itself. So I'm just going to go and say HTTP 1.2. Okay. Just come here. Okay. Okay. And now we're having the U right here. This. Okay, we have it that way now. So if I should just go ahead and just do something else here, search something here. Okay, let me just say blog post. And okay, I have this blogger.com right here, right? So I click this blogger.com and I didn't want this. Okay, I just okay, let me just copy this. So I just copy this link address. Now if I paste this right here and I submit this, now I'm getting this link. I copy this link now, and it's now a short version, right? And I just paste it here. This link is shortened, right? And now you can see that I'm redirected to this article itself. So this is just like the version of this URL shortener with Django. So let's just go ahead and design this very well to make it look more enticing for us. So we just okay. And one more thing before we do that is that okay, we have access to an admin page with Django. So you can just go ahead and say Python manage.py create super user. So now I leave it blank and it's going to save it as Andrew, and Andrew can just go and say ahead and say admin@gmail.com. Okay, password, I'll just put in something random. Okay, yes, I want this password, nothing else. Okay, successfully created now. So what am I talking about on admin page with Django? So if we just go right there now, just paste this here and we navigate to the admin section of this, we'll be given an option to log in into an admin page. So I can just enter the username of the super user I just created right now and the password also, and log in to this admin page. And in this page now, I have access to like the activities at the back end here. So I can have access to the user here. We only have one user right here and this email, but I should be able to access the short URLs I have here as an admin, right? But I don't have it here. So to do that, we have to just register this model itself to the user in the admin app right here. So what you can just do here is, okay, the way I like to do this is something like, okay, admin.admin, and just want to go ahead and say pass. And what I just want to do here is admin.register short URL. So we have to import this structure from our models itself. So from models, import structure. So admin just register structure. So if I should go back to this now and just reload this page. Okay, I think our program, okay, it's not admin, it is model admin. So just admin dot model admin, not admin. So if I should go back and run this place now, I can see I have access to the short URLs right here. And now you can see the long form URL that we have here. And where are we getting this? Now you see the reason why we have this def string from start here. So if I should open the models.py right here, this def string is what is returning. But if I should change this now to a formatted string, so if I change this to a formatted string now, then pointing to the short form of the string itself, and I run this again. Okay, it's not going to modify what the existing ones, but it should modify the incoming ones that are going to have next. So we have this shorten URL itself now. So if I should submit this again, okay, save RF token. So let's just go ahead and copy this. I'm not meant to be doing this, but let's just copy this and okay, if I should try and paste this here again, we see that I'm redirected to this page right here. Now we can see. Okay, let's see a problem right here. Okay, we'll look into that, but first let's go and design our front end well. So I'm be adding some styling right here now, some CSS styling, and okay, still our head tag we have style. Okay, want to start with the body. So let me just go at this time itself. So the body now I want to start with the font family. So do it. Okay. Area sans okay. Sans serif. Sans serif. Okay, want to have a background color of okay. F4 want to have a display of flex display. So we have flex display right there. Okay, we want to have a justify content center. Okay, this is meant to be justify content, not justify self. Contents center, and we want to have align items too. Center. They want to have heights and a margin of 0. Okay, that's quite alright right there. They want to go to the container size class. What's container? I want to have a container. I want to have the background color. I want to have this as white, so we'll just go as FFF. Okay. And now let's just have the padding to be 20 pixels. So 20 pixels as our padding right there. And we want to have the border radius too as 8 pixels, not 5, 8 pixels. Then let's just have the box shadow. Okay, here we have 0, 0, 10 pixels. And our GPA of this. I have a width of 10 pixels. But before that, we should align these items, text align to center. So I'm just going to go ahead and say text align center. Okay, let's have a max width of this also. So we have max width Now let's just have 400 pixels as a max width right there. Okay, that's quite all right. So now let's just modify our h1 tag. So h1 tag, we just go ahead and say, let's have a margin button. So let's go ahead and say margin button right here, 20 pixels. Okay, we want to have the font size. The font size 24 pixels. That's quite alright. Then we want to have a color also. And what is this color going to be? Hashtag 3. Okay, is there anything else I'm missing? Okay, this is not a colon, this should be a semicolon. Okay, so now let's go ahead and design the input tag itself. So let's go ahead and say input tag. So this type is going to be a URL type. So just go ahead and say URL. Okay, then I want to have the width to be 100%, the padding to be text 10 pixels. Yes, the margin bottom also should be 10 pixels. The border should be 1 pixel, then solid, and using this hashtag as a color. The border radius too should be 4 pixels. Then I want to have a font size. Okay, the font size now should be 16 pixels. Then, okay, we have the margin button also. Ten pixels. Okay. All right. Okay. So we have it that way. And I'm just so used to Python. Okay, this is box shadow. So let's go ahead and design the button itself, the button elements. Okay, so we'll be styling the button element now. So let's have, okay, I'll just use these then 10 pixels, the background color. Okay, I will be changing this to, okay, let's go with 007BFF. Okay, that's quite all right. Then the color itself should be FFF, that's all right. Then we have a border none, border radius should be 4 pixels. The cursor should be a pointer. Okay, so I like to add font size. So font size right here. So let me put 16 pixels. So font size is 16 pixels right here. Okay, so let's start the button when we over the button. So when we're hovering over this button, we want to have it this way, and let's start the results element itself. So margin 20 pixels, then the display. This display, I want it to not always be the same thing. So here we are going to use some HTML, some Django template tags right here. So I'm just going to say if shorten URL right here. So if shorten URL is present in the context data, I want it to be a block, right? Else, so you see this in a second when I'm viewing this. I want this to be just none. right? So none, and now we must always put our end if. So that's quite all right to go. Then we want to have the shorten element itself, and there I will have the width to be 70 and not 100%. Okay, the padding 10 pixels, the border and pixels solid, and okay, the color remain the same. Border radius 4 pixels, font size 16 pixels, and I'll just go ahead and remove this margin button itself. So the last one now is going to be the copy button. So now what do we want to have in the copy button? Just want to have width. So we have width right here. So I'll go ahead with the width and I say 25%. So okay, and I want to have margin left also. Okay, I also want to have margin left. Okay, let's just close this tag right here. My margin left now should be equals to 5 pixels. Okay, I think it's quite alright for now. So let's see the result of this. Okay, I think our button is still not showing some of this tag we want it to show. So I'll just go here and say, okay, do I have an ID right here? ID original URL. Okay, what about the button itself? Okay, what I want to do right here now to change this input type to button. So just say, go ahead and say button type input shorten URL. Shorten URL. Okay. And now this copy ID too. I think it is quite alright for now. Okay, we have it this way. So I should go ahead and just look for a random post. Say, okay, Elon Musk. Yes. And just copy the address of this link. Okay, I think the inputs itself still needs some adjustment. So I have the ID quite alright and correct. Okay, background. Okay, I'll just have this way. I copy and paste this, shorten URL. So now we have it this way. So I want this input tag to be like this itself. So let me see what is wrong with that. Input type is text. The ID is shortened. Okay. Okay. So I'll just stop my server and run it again. So we have it this way. Just put this there. Okay, and this is quite okay and better. So I should go ahead and paste this right here now. Should be redirecting me to the page I wanted it to be. And this was a page. Wow. So that's nice. And this will be all for today. Thank you for coming along with me, for watching and learning how to build a URL shop now with Django. So if you want to learn more about this and you want to learn more about Django as a role itself, don't forget to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Code True. So I'll create more tutorials like this often. So I'll be pushing this to GitHub too, and be leaving the link to the repo in the description. Thank you. See you next time. Goodbye. Okay.